Hey everybody, and welcome back to Bar Run Forge. It's Troy, and we've got another exciting video for you today, but I've got some things to air out. Stick around. Now, when I say air out, I think you guys have got it figured out by now that I'm not going to complain about a bunch of stuff. We have been without in our shop, without air, compressed air, the entire time we've had this shop back here. Part of the reason is because we didn't have the proper voltage and electricity. So we've got amperage, we've got voltage, we've got power to spare out here in the shop. So we have an air compressor out in another portion of the building. We'll show you that in just a second. And so we wanted to do a couple things with our compressed air. One of the things is we wanted to have it outside of the main part of the shop. You know, we do video editing and video recording here in the shop a great deal. And when you're in the shop, it doesn't have to be loud. So we've put that compressor out in another part of the building. It's now wired up, it's now plumbed up, and I'll show you that process and what we have done. I'm not going to show you every little detail and everything that we did, and I'm not going to go through the actual doing of the plumbing and everything like that. You guys know how to do that. If you don't know how to do that, there's tons of videos on how to connect plumbing and things like that. One of the things that we wanted to do is to have multiple ports for air, compressed air here in the shop and in multiple places. We've now got a plasma table, which means we have a plasma cutter. Plasma cutter requires compressed air. Our ribbon burner forge requires compressed air. And then it'd be nice to have compressed air in here to run die grinders and things like that. So we found a really great setup that is sold at one of our local farm supply places. It's actually Rural King, and they carry this, and this is called Rapid Air, and this is the home and garage. This setup that we have is the 3/8 tubing setup. Everything that's connected to it is 3/8 and has the 1/4 inch NPT. All those fittings, pretty much everything you need is in this kit. They have these special blocks. We'll show you that in the video. We've already got all of that pretty well taken care of. We bought 2 of these kits because we are going to move some air also into another part of the shop as the shop expands. So we're going to move air over there. We bought 2 kits. We needed a couple of the blocks that were in here to begin with and the extra tubing as well. So we bought 2 kits, and the kit has everything you need in it. We're not going to open up the kit, but I'll just tell you, it has a cutter to cut the tubing. It has the blocking, the fittings, and every part of the valves, pretty much everything you would need for this setup. And it comes in this really nice kit, and we'll open it up. I'll show you kind of what was in it and is in it, and then we'll kind of give you an overview of what we've already done here in the shop. And there is going to be some video of some of the connections and some of the things that we're going to do to make this shop a little bit more efficient. This is exciting for us. So you can see this master kit 90500. This is the home and garage kit. We've already taken 2 of the blocks out and the fittings that go with it. This is a manifold block, so if you wanted to distribute your air to a couple different places, this manifold block comes very tightly packed in here. There's your cutter, and you can see these are all the 3/8 fittings there, so you can run hoses directly off of those. Then you can run your 90s or anything you want. This is a great little aluminum port. It can be mounted straight to a wall or to anything else. Great piece right here. I believe it comes with 100 feet of tubing, and that is half inch and 3/8 inside diameter. I will tell you that the tubing is a little difficult to deal with. Now, the larger tubing actually has an aluminum core inside of it, so once it's set in place, it's a little bit more sturdy. But this is a nylon PEX style tubing, and it actually works pretty good. There are some of your fittings that go with it. There are the plugs that go on the back, some extra couplers and nipples here, some 90-degree elbows, and then your fittings to connect the hose to. And this is a press fit setting. All of these are literally, you just take the tubing, push it in until it clicks, pull it out, and it is set. It's much like a shark bite fitting. So this is the set that we're going to use. We've already got most of this done, but I'm going to show you an overview of what's been done here in the shop. This is our Dewalt 60-gallon compressor. It is a 220 compressor, single stage, and it's running on a 20 amp circuit. We have had this for some time and just not had the opportunity to use it. And I wanted to do this kind of a specific way. And so I'm going to tell you kind of how we've put this together. I'll show you some of the plumbing pieces we've added on and some of the reasons for what we've done. A big factor to consider in compressed air is dry air. So we've done a couple things actually out here at the compressor to make sure that we've got as dry air as we possibly can without spending a lot of money. So the first thing we've done, is you notice on all air compressors, you usually have a petcock, and that is a valve that's right here down at the bottom that allows that to come out. What we have done is put a street 90 on where the petcock goes, and then a nipple and a valve, and then another nipple. And that allows us to evacuate any moisture that's at the bottom of the tank. Not all the moisture is going to be compressed and pushed out, so this allows us to bring it out the bottom. The other thing we've done, and I'll show you here, kind of working our way out, we've got a reducer and a nipple to a 3/8 valve, another nipple to our regulator and dryer. So this is a filter dryer, and this also has a valve on it that will allow us to drain the moisture out of it. It also has a gauge, so as it fills up, it tells you where you're at, and then you can drain the water out of it. We're going to try to do that as much as possible, drain the moisture out of it as often as possible. And then this has a regulator, and the regulator is one where it's basically you push or pull, set, and then you lock it in position. And then this is our gauge to tell us what the pressure is. Coming out of the regulator, we had to do another reducer to a nipple. And then on another compressor I had, there was this great aluminum manifold. Great piece here, and it already had these two ports already on it. And we're going to use these for here at the farm. We can run a hose reel off of this to pump up tires and things like that. If I need air right here, I can get air right here. And then there are two ports open. And this one on the end is going to go to our other shop portion that we're getting ready to start. After that, we've got a valve. Got a ball valve here and some other fittings to go into a rubber hose. And that rubber hose needs to be clamped up, but then it runs inside the building and is attached to that first block. And we'll show you that here in just a second. So anyway, this is the compressor spot here in the shop. It's going to keep it quiet out here for in the shop. That'll make things a whole lot better. The moisture in here will all stay in here. We're not going to be draining that all into the shop. We're going to mount that actually to the floor with the pallet, and that'll help get rid of some of the vibration and send that vibration into the wood, not into the floor or into the compressor. We've got a portion of our setup already done. I'll kind of explain when we get outside to the compressor. This outlet, or this manifold right here, is already set up and plumbed into the compressor. On the back side, instead of putting that plug in, we plumbed a rubber hose in to keep from vibration coming through to the system. A rubber hose in and plumbed it over to a shutoff valve on the compressor. We'll show you on the back side. But on this is where our plasma cutter will most likely be. So we've got a dry air outlet where we can dump the water out, the moisture. And we're going to go up, and you can see I put a T right there. There's a T, and then the line that way is going over to the workbench where the welder and some other items are, so we can use some air there. And then we go to this side and we put a 90 on, and that 90 is going to connect to our line that's going to go across the ceiling. Going to go across the ceiling over to that side of the shop, and we're going to have an outlet over there on that wall. So what that's going to get is a T, a 90, down to a port, and then that line will go over to the ribbon burner. So that line will run after the T, will run all the way over to the ribbon burner, and we'll put a port over there. Here we have another one of those ports. We've yet to put in the coupler for that yet, but you can see here that ran into a T, came over to a 90, and down to our other port. And then that T splits and goes down towards where the ribbon burner forge. As I said, our ribbon burner forge runs on compressed air, so we were in need of a port and some air supply here, and there it is. So we'll be able to take that port right there, connect it to our air supply for the ribbon burner forge, connect our propane, which is right there, and then this unit will be up and going, and we're gonna have a video on that as well. To the other side of the shop, there's that other line that comes down. We've got a drop here and another port, and that'll be very convenient. We've got our power electric reel here, and then we'll have air available right there. And that makes it really nice around here in the grinding area, and just to blow air on things or use the die grinder or any other air powered tools. The system comes with 2 in each of these packets. It comes with 2 of these blocks, also comes with a manifold block. This is milled or extruded aluminum. Got all the threaded areas on it. In the back, it allows you to come in the back like we did, coming from the compressor to our first outlet. So we're going to put a plug in that, and then on the bottom you have the air outlet, or to let all your moisture out. This will be where your input is, or your hookup, and this will be to the top to feed in your air. And then it has 4 holes to mount it on the wall. It's a great little system. I'll show you how one is done up. So again, you have the top, the feed will come in the top. Then we'll put our outlet on here, our input here. This is our drain for the air and any moisture that's in it. And on the back, we have the plug. Now you'll notice I'm using pipe joint compound, or PTFE. I don't use the Teflon tape simply because it can get bunched up, and the Teflon paste, the TFE, will get down in the grooves. It makes a seal, and it actually does dry to a certain extent. So I'm going to be using the PTFE on all these joints, and so let's put one together just to show you. I've got the other ones already done, and we'll show you how one goes together. First thing I'm going to do, and we'll put the plug in the back. This is a hex, got a hex head in it for an Allen wrench. So we'll put a coating of paste, compound, try to get it down in the threads like we'll do on all the joints. And then just thread that in. Allen wrench, tighten it down in there. Now some of these will end up a little, I think this one will be that way, a little proud of the surface here. It's not going to bother me that much. It'll be up against the wall. We're going to mount it square, no big deal. Now I'm going to move to the front surface. This is where our input will be, or where we plug in. And again, it's a brass piece that comes with the kit. It does not come with your couplers, simply because the company doesn't know what kind of couplers you're using, whether you're using automotive, industrial, whatever, M or V, whatever it might be. So we'll put those on here in just a little bit. But again, that just threads right on there. Make sure, because it's brass and aluminum, make sure these are threaded straight. They're not cross-threaded. And we'll take that in there a good ways. You can use standard wrenches, or you can use an adjustable wrench. And tighten that down in there. And what we want to do is make sure this port is facing down. And again, making sure not to over tighten. And there we go. Okay, so there's our port. Put in the top, or excuse me, put in the bottom for the drain. Here's our drain. Put a little bit of paste on the threads. Being very careful. This piece is actually steel. So not real high quality, but it's just there for a drain. So I'm going to again take my adjustable wrench. Again, you can use the exact wrenches for each of these. That's quite all right. And again, I want to get this valve pointed towards the front so I can reach it from the front, turn off the valve. That part's done. Flip it over, put it in our vise, and then we will use our connector piece. This is our push connector. And the tubing, this system is such a neat system. And we'll talk more about that here in just a second. But again, just a little bit of TFE paste. Make sure it's not cross-threaded. Get our wrench out. I'm simply using an adjustable wrench because most people have those, and on this setup there are multiple sizes. So having the adjustable wrench allows you to just use the one wrench for all these fittings. Now, this head here, if I don't parallel the faces of the head, it will stick out as well. So that's the only thing I'm really paying attention to at this point. It's snug enough. I'm just squaring up those faces so it doesn't stick out beyond the block. So there you go. There is your block. And again, we'll put the outlet on, or where we plug in, and mount that on the wall. And that's the end of that part. All right, we're actually to kind of the last run on it. I didn't show all of the connectors and all the runs that we did. It's kind of repetitive once you get to one spot and you get to do the connectors and everything. It's all pretty much the same. So I've got the last piece of tubing, the longest run, and then we'll do a drop for that. So I'll put that on time lapse, and you can see me run that through here. We'll put some clamps on the beam up here, and then we'll do the drop over there. We'll do that in real time. All right, we have come to the end of our run, and it's more than what we wanted, but that's okay. I think what we're going to do is just cut it off and use that for our drop. So where I want to go is about right here. I'm going to take my cutter. This is such an easy process. This cutter, which comes with the kit, you just basically place it over the top of it, put it in the groove, squeeze it shut. Super, super simple. Now, as far as setting the elbow on, or any of these pieces, it is literally a push fit. Push it in, pull it out, it is set. I'm gonna mount that with a screw because it has a screw hole right in the elbow. And I will tell you, they do not fit drywall screws, which is what I wanted to use. So I did have to drill them out, and just ream them out just a bit to get that proper dimension. So I'm going to line it up, put that screw in there, and it's secured. Now we'll do the drop, and we'll put the box on. All right, with our tubing in already cut, I'm going to go ahead and insert it into the top piece. Again, that's a push fit. You feel that set. And then it's really, really simple at this point. Take your block, another push fit, push it until it sets, and then we're going to line it up, screw it into place. About where you want it. You can measure this, level this to what extreme you want to do. That first one set. Go to this back corner here. See if we like what we see. Pretty happy with that. One more screw and then we'll tighten them down. Put some clamps on. We can put one clamp in this run. Put it about halfway up. Insert the screw. And line it up a little bit. Grab the screw. There you go. Pretty pleased with that. That'll do it. So there you have it. That is our compressed air setup here in the shop. One of the things that got me really excited about this rapid air system is it's expandable. We can continue to add on and add on and add on. And if we decide down the line, you know, this is the 3/8 version. They have the, I think, half or maybe in 3/4, maybe even 1 inch. They have a multiple setups with these rapid air kits. These kits are really great. They're really user-friendly. I know the bigger sets are very similar in how they operate as well. I'm sure we'll have to tweak things and work on getting things set up exactly the way we want them. But this is exciting for us. We're really glad to have this compressed air in our shop and able to be used outside as well. And that also allows us to expand to the new portions of the shop when we're ready for that as well. We really want to thank you guys for coming in. You know, one of the things that strikes me about this whole process is when we talk about, and I opened up with to air some things out. One of the things I absolutely love about my faith in God is that I have the opportunity to go to Him at any point in time. And if I need to air something out to Him, if it's something that's on my heart that I need help with, if it's something that I need God to show me His will, or it's something where I'm praying for someone else or praying for myself that they might be healed from something or might get better from an illness, something like that, God opens that door for me. And you know, we look at all these ports here in the shop, and each one of them has these valves. There are valves back at the compressor. There are these outlets for us to let go of some things. You know, the pressure on the lines, the moisture that's in the lines, the dirt and the stuff that's in the lines. That's what those valves are there for. And one of the things I want to encourage you is that not only can you go to God and open up those valves to release the pressure on our lives. Prayer is such a great release of the pressure we have on our lives, but you can also go to God's people. You know, there are people who are waiting on us to talk to us and help us and to be that conduit for God. You know, the blue lines that are run through this shop are basically a conduit for the air. And God uses people in our lives so that we can go to them and they can help us with God's will and God's guidance through them. And what a blessing it is to have that, to not be alone. We want to thank you guys for coming here into the shop today, talking about our compressed air system and the new rapid air home garage system. We'll put a link down in the, we're not affiliated. This is not a paid advertisement. We're definitely not sponsored by Rapid Air. But go check out Rural King. Go check out the Rapid Air as well. Thank you guys so much for coming in. God bless you, and we will see you on the next one. Take care.